Hi there, I'm Angela. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. I'm so happy that you stopped in. Today we're going to talk about something that might be a little bit of a touchy subject, maybe, depending. We're going to talk about letting go of fabric. Stay tuned. So before we get into it, two things. One, yes, I did get a new haircut, in case you noticed. I love it. I haven't had it this short since I can't remember when, so I'm totally like jazzed about my new haircut. And two, this topic could be a little bit difficult for anyone who has a little bit of a difficult time letting go of their stash or just in general. So it's not meant to be bring up bad feelings or anything like that. The reason that I'm talking about this is because I've recently come to a place in my life and a decision that I need to let go of some of my fabric. As I've mentioned on the channel a couple of times, I've been sewing for quite a long time, and over the years, it's been a while, but over the years I have worked at fabric stores off and on. So I've built up quite the stash, and looking through my fabric collection, I'm seeing that there are pieces that I don't think I will ever sew. And some of them, I'm wondering why I ever even bought them, as my preferences have changed and my taste in fabric and colors and styles has changed over the years. I have realized that I need to get rid of some of these pieces. I am never going to sew them up. So I wanted to talk to you today about kind of the way that that's like making me feel, some of the things that it's bringing up to me, and also mention a couple of the ways that we could let go of fabric, like avenues to actually get rid of the fabric and hopefully be putting it into a good home and not just ending up in a landfill. And then if you're interested and you stick around, I'll show you the pieces that, at least at this time, that I am going to rehome. So let's get into it. So as far as the way that letting go of these pieces of fabric has affected me, maybe emotionally, I'm going to share with you a couple of the things that have gone through my mind. And one of those is that clingy, kind of needy feeling of, oh, I might need that someday, or I might end up using that someday. And I've had to kind of take a ruthless approach and like make myself realize that I'm probably never going to use that someday. And someone else might like it. It could be someone else's perfect piece of fabric. So I think coming to that realization has been helpful. And the other thing that I'm kind of going through mentally / emotionally is just regret, like feeling like I was wasteful. I spent money on this thing, and it might have been a pretty substantial amount of money, depending on how expensive the fabric was and how much yardage I bought. So there's always that feeling of I wasted money. So that's another kind of mental hurdle that I've had to get over. And I think what's helping me get over that is the thought that I could, one, sell this fabric and recoup some of the cost, or just two, donate it and someone else will get to use it. I mean, my household, we donate money occasionally to the charities and the causes that are meaningful to us. So it's really no different donating a piece of fabric to a thrift store. Around here, the biggest thrift store that we have is the Goodwill chain. There are a number of Goodwill stores in our area. There probably are a couple of others, but they're not real close to where we live, so Goodwill would be happy to have it. And by the way, I have contacted our Goodwill in the past. They do accept fabric. Now, I'm not sure what they do with it, like if they sell it as fabric yardage, or if they donate it maybe to a home economics program, or send it to a fabric recycler. I'm not sure, and I think that bears further looking into. So I may pursue them just a little bit more to find out what they do with the fabric, because I don't ever remember seeing yardage of fabric for sale in any of the Goodwills in our area. So what are they doing with it? I'm not sure. I think I'm going to look into that though, and surely somebody there or at the home office or what have you could answer that question for me. So those are kind of like the mental, emotional things that I go through when I let go of fabric. And as far as avenues or ways to kind of like offload the fabric, well, I mentioned thrifting, donating it to a thrift store. Another is I've been hearing a lot about lately is the site called Destashify. Have you guys heard of that? I'm hearing a lot of the sewists talk about it. It's a place where apparently anyone can set up an account and sell their fabric, like resell it, or patterns, or you could go on there as a consumer and buy fabric and patterns. I think I'm going to look more into that too. I am in the process of starting a new job, so I'm not sure if I have the time or the bandwidth right now to deal with like reselling fabric and patterns and have to deal with the shipping and all that kind of stuff. But I think that this is a good avenue, and I'm definitely going to look more into it. Or another possibility, and I've not tried this myself or even really looked into it, but I often wonder if maybe the home economics department, do they still have home ec in schools? I kind of hope they do, and teach these kind of life skills to younger people. I'm wondering if they might accept fabric for their sewing classes. That's a possibility, or a community center. So I think before I really make a decision on how I'm going to unload these pieces I'll show you, I think I'm going to make those phone calls to make sure that the fabric kind of gets to a good home and will be used and not end up in a landfill. So if you're interested, let's take a look at these pieces, and I'll kind of share with you why they didn't make the cut, no pun intended, and why I'm letting them go. The first one is this. It's sort of a gray and blue and mauve and white. It feels like it's a rayon blend. It's a pretty fabric and it feels nice, but I'm thinking it just kind of doesn't suit me so well now. So it's in the pile to donate. And next is this gray. This is a crepe, and there's a pretty substantial amount here. And I think I got this one because it was on a really, really good sale. And now I'm looking at it and thinking, I don't even like gray. Why did I buy this? Oh, the dumb decisions. But I'll tell you, going through my fabrics has made me really be selective about any new fabrics that I purchase. The next one is a challis, and I thought this one was really pretty. I'm not sure that I'm crazy about it. So it didn't make the cut. This is hard, you guys. I'm telling you, the feelings of like wastefulness are really hard to deal with. And I'm hoping that I can get these into a good home where someone will love them and make something nice. And it's a lesson for me to be choosier, you know, when I'm buying fabrics. Money's hard to come by. And I think about like how much this piece of fabric cost me and how much time I had to work to take home that amount of money. That kind of really helps illuminate it a little bit. The whole purpose of this video is to share with you like this whole process, how it has been for me and how I'm working my way through it. And maybe it'll be helpful for you if you're kind of going through the same thing. And the last piece, this one I love. It's a jersey knit and it's rayon, so it is so soft. And the reason that I'm getting rid of it, and there's another lesson in here which we'll get to in just a moment, is because it is sheer. Can you guys see my face through that? It is so sheer. I think it's even more sheer than it's coming through in the video. And I don't know what I would even make with this. I think when I bought this, I was thinking of a long sleeve t-shirt because that's what I like to sleep in. But I think it's too thin for that. And when I washed it the first time, because I am like a die-hard pre-washer. I'll show you what I noticed. Do you see, can you guys see that hole there? Yeah. Now, I don't know if it came like that or if that came from the washing process. Either way, that's really a shame. And I love the color. It's so pretty. But I don't know what I would ever do with that. So now that I feel like I've like unloaded my dirty laundry on you guys, and it's a little embarrassing to share that, I feel kind of wasteful, but I'm trying to do the right thing and not just throw the fabric away and try to get it to a place where it can be reused. My whole thought is that I hope that you could find this helpful if you've gone through something similar. So my goal is to sew through as much of my stash as I can this year. And if it takes me 2, 3, 4 years, that's fine. And I've really been rethinking the whole fabric diet I've been on, or fabric ban, as people say. And I've kind of loosened up my guidelines there, knowing that I will be very much choosier when selecting new fabrics and not going crazy. But if there's a piece I see that I love and it's on a good sale, not to deny it, just to think about it, make a wise choice, and if I still want it, go ahead and get it. I hope you found this helpful, and do you guys go through this too? I hope I'm not the only one. And that's all that I have. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and until next time, bye.